So here's a view of the 31 acres that I have the blessing of renting right now as I first come to Santa Fe. And I really think life is speaking to us all the time. I believe the coincidences, the serendipities are the universe going a little to the left, a little to the right. You're right on track. And so when I had lunch, well, first I went to like a July 4th party and I met a bunch of wonderful people. And then I followed up with one of the ladies and we had lunch and we were talking about her event and she was showing me all the people that were coming to her event. And then a couple days later, I look in my calendar and I've got a pre-record for intimate conversations and we're starting to talk. And then she's like, oh yeah, I'm coming to Santa Fe. And I'm like, oh really, when? And it's for the event of the woman I had lunch with. They're besties. I'm like, what? This is crazy. This is such a small world. And what that says to me is I'm on track. I'm in the flow. I'm meeting people who know one another. I'm finding a family of sisters. I'm with my homies, my people that are value what I value. And so as we go into this conversation, it's like meeting an old friend for the first time. We have so many things in common, so much of our journey in common, so much of our single motherhood and being entrepreneurs in common, deep reverence for energy and our ascension into the fifth dimension, so many things. So Lisa Campion, enjoy this delicious woman, and may that similar synchronicity and alignment occur in your life when you slow down and you listen and you bravely take action. All right, Lisa Campion.
Welcome to Intimate Conversations, Season 13, Heart Broken Open, where intimacy is an inside job. Hello, delicious people. Welcome to another episode of Intimate Conversations. Here we are, Season 13, Heart Broken Open, and I'm welcoming our next guest, the amazing Lisa Campion, and we're saying where she's from, where she lives, and she's coming out to Santa Fe, and all the pieces are starting to come together that who I just had lunch with last week, who I met July 4th, is her bestie. This world is getting smaller and smaller, and it's such a beautiful reflection, Lisa, when you're on the path and these synchronicities and coincidences occur so effortlessly. It's really a wonderful sign.
Isn't that amazing? When you get in the magical flow and it's sort of like being on the yellow brick road, like your path just opens up in front of, right under your feet, and it's always so beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you. So beautifully said. So let me tell you more about this amazing woman, then we're going to get away to the races. You can find her also at lisacampion.com. All of this will be in the show notes. Lisa is an oracle, author, psychic mentor, and not your grandma's psychic. She's the mentor you wish you'd met before you started doubting your own gifts. Since childhood, Lisa's been seeing energy, colors, and the kinds of spirits most people only talk about at Halloween. Except for her, it was Tuesday. These days, she's the go-to resource for every emerging psychic, empath, and I feel too much healer who secretly suspects the world needs them. It does. She'll prove it. As the founder of Quantum Light Wave Healing and the author of 4 books, including best-selling The Art of Psychic Reiki, Lisa is equal parts quantum science geek. I love that. I'm a quantum science geek too. And kitchen table mystic. Forget vague, trust the universe advice. Lisa translates your intuition and psychic hits into practical tools you can use to transform lives, starting with your own. Her mission? Radical but simple. Train an army of healers to go out there and save the planet one conscious soul at a time. If you've ever felt too sensitive, too out there, or just too plain psychic, Lisa is here to show you that's really your superpower. Off duty, you will find her gardening, dancing her heart out, which is good to know for after the show on Patreon, or watching old sci-fi movies, delighting in every scrap of magic this world can throw at her. Yes, she's probably barefoot. No, she's not judging your crystals. Ready to find your own next level psychic gifts?
Drop your story at lisacampion.com, sign up for her newsletter, or just leave her a comment about your own psychic adventures. Seriously, she reads them all. I love your bio. It's so like engaging and down to earth and funny and all the rest of it. So, friend of Stephanie James, who I just met, how did you come to give your gifts to the world? Like you had them, but what gave you the courage to go, here I am, here's what I do?
It's such a funny story. But I was 19 when I started working as a psychic,
Yeah.
and that was back in the 80s, you know. But I just grew up. I grew up outside of Boston in a super haunted, one of those big old Mama Victorian houses, you know.
No way.
And yeah, and I just was always one of those kids, like kind of born with a gift, seeing things that other people couldn't see, feeling energy, sensing energy, seeing spirits, the whole all the psychic package. I had it all. But back then it was so weird. I mean, it was such a weird thing to do, and you couldn't really talk about it. I spent a lot of my childhood trying to figure out what was going on, and also trying to pretend to be normal in public. You know, I'm not good at really that much either now, but you know, it was a tricky childhood, but I just knew. And I remember just as a very young person knowing that that's what I was going to do, that I was going to be a psychic. I think I wrote it in my journal when I was like 5. Well, I'm going to be a psychic and an author and a writer, which is what I do. And so the 80s came, I was in college, it was the dawn of the new age. And I started working as a psychic back then. I don't know why I did. I just think you can do things when you're 19, you just think you can do things.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I did. And I had I was working with people, and it quickly came to me that I didn't actually have enough skill to help them. So I went back to school after I finished university, went back to school and became a therapist. And for a long time, I combined those things together. Then in 1999, I added Reiki into the mix, so I added some layers of energy work in there. But yeah, it's really what I've done my whole life. I've never done anything else. This is the whole thing.
Amazing. 19, I hopped on Uncle Phil's 18-wheeler semi from Canada to LA and ended up in Tokyo. So I get that 19 years old, the world is our oyster.
I went to Japan too. I was a little older. I spent a couple of years after I graduated therapy school. I moved to Japan with my boyfriend, and we spent 2 or 3 years there teaching English.
Oh my God.
Studying martial art. We were martial artists. So I wanted to keep studying martial arts, and that's why I went.
Amazing. Were you in Tokyo or in a small town outside of?
I was in a small town on the island of Kyushu, the southern island, for a couple of years.
Amazing. Yeah. Amazing. I was there 4 years. I down to Okinawa, started up north. Incredible.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in Okinawa because I was studying an Okinawan style of martial arts. So my karate teacher's wife was Okinawan. We spent a lot of time there.
Oh, incredible. It's funny how we were just saying how our paths have crossed with your bestie, Stephanie James. My current flamenco teacher in Santa Fe is Japanese. We were there during the same time when she lived there. We were in New York at the same time. These paths are crossing. Before we go into more of your beautiful story, what do you see is happening with ascension to 5D and karmic contracts over, only soul contracts, and who's leaving and who's lining up? What are you seeing in your own life and the life of your clients?
I see so much of that acceleration inside of myself, and I think and all the people that I work with, my students and my clients. I just think we're, hitting that 5D consciousness is like we're really learning to live from the heart, from our higher self, and kind of disconnecting from our egoic sense of who we were. The striving, the competitiveness, the like, I am my zip code and my credit score, like we're kind of like dropping that materialistic sort of identification and really living more from the heart. And I love what you said about clearing out the karma. I think it's quite painful. So I see these purge periods that we go through of like heavily purging the physical, lots of physical detox, lots of emotional purging, purging out our thoughts and our mind. And as we purge out the lower frequencies, which really it's no fun when it's happening, but like, what is going on here? It's like a lot of like shedding of old, patterns, behaviors, traumas. Then we we literally lift our frequency high enough to spend more time in that 5D world, and it's, for me, like I was a Reiki teacher, been a Reiki teacher for 26 years now. And about 5 years ago, I realized that my energy work wasn't Reiki anymore. It was this other thing that was much more powerful, that I felt like it was made from light. I was transmitting light instead of frequency and vibration, which Reiki really is. And I'm like, I don't know what to call it. I call it quantum healing. I'm still not convinced that's the best name for it, but that's what it is. And so my modality has changed and shifted into that, working more with light. And I think that's what we're doing, especially those of us that are sort of way showers. We're on the cutting edge of this, transformation, this evolution, is we're shifting to more light. And that's when people talk about light workers. I think that's what that really means. That we kind of, if enough of us shift into that high level consciousness, we can kind of change the course and trajectory of where we're going. It's like we're on the Titanic. We just hit the iceberg, or we're just about to. And if enough of us run to the one side of the ship, can we change can we, come off that trajectory? And I think we can. I think that's what we're here for, and I think that's what we're actually doing. So, so I feel quite hopeful actually about our future. And I think that when we're on that path and we're really dedicated to it, we meet a lot of other people that are also doing it, right? So
Totally.
Here we are.
I love what you're saying, that your Reiki has shifted. You could sense the energy's different, that it's light now. The evolution in my career, coaching for 20-ish years, started psychedelic somatic integration work about 5 years ago for my own wounding, and then began to provide it for my clients. And I guess about 3 years ago, 2.5 years ago, so when the autonomic nervous system is gone, level 4, it comes back in hopeless. And then there's this very short level 2, super intense, gnarly as fuck, like terror for realsies, panic for realsies, murderous rage. Like, well, it's short, 30 seconds a minute, but it's really, really scary. And then 1, and then 0.1 is just so sweet. During the second part with my own journeys, with my facilitator, and then me with my clients, toning's coming through. These notes, Lisa, I can't hit them if you ask me to, and they go longer than my breath. I don't know where this energy just keeps coming through my body, but it's almost like it helps break up and move through the energy. So different capacities are starting to come through. That's one thing I've noticed in my business. The other thing is my shtick, my wounding, is I'll overgive till the cows come home. So you don't hurt me, don't leave me, don't take your love away, whatever. So all the clients that I overgave with, as I stand up, a lot of clients are leaving. And so I feel like an exodus, and I'm still waiting for the incoming of who's here at this next level, of walking beside me, rather than me being the savior. My ego is okay not to do that anymore. Have your actual clients shifted?
So many. I just started teaching this quantum healing class, and I was like, I'm going to put this out there. It sounds completely nuts. Like, who's going to sign up? I had so many people sign up, like almost more than I could handle.
Oh my God, Lisa, wonderful.
And I was like, people I didn't know, like they weren't my like, frequent flyers. They were like brand new people who found me. And I feel like so many people are resonating with that, and are on board with the new pattern. And I love what you said. It's more about co-creating our experience with each other, instead of that spiritual teacher kind of like hierarchical thing that we've been living in. And especially like old school psychological models, which really are so pathologizing, you're broken and I'm going to fix you. That's
gone.
Paradigm is out. And I think especially with the quantum work that I do, it's more about realigning with our divine blueprint, realigning with our original self. And there's kind of like and it's so funny. I was just talking to my friend about this a few minutes ago, there's a way that it happens really effortlessly, really instantly. But what I see, because I lead these group quantum healings like every month where there are hundreds of people sometimes on the call, and I can feel the change happen, but then we can bring ourselves back into the old pattern if we don't break our habit of how we think and how we feel. If we continue to tell ourselves the same old story, same old story, same old story, you can come out of we can do quantum healing work and that's gone. But if you don't change the story, if you go back into the old story, it's like you recoalesce that into reality again. So I'm finding it like how I'm wondering, my question for myself is, how do I help people let go of the stories? Let go of our victim stories. And not that we haven't been victimized, we all have, for sure, and for real. And how do we let go as we heal through that? How do we let go of holding on to that as our sense of identity?
Yeah. Tell me your thoughts. Thank you. This, to me, it's like an identity that's hooked into a dimension or a vibration or a frequency, and I'm not exactly sure the right word, that the story comes along with. And when the identity dies, the story dies, but grasping for reality and like it seems like a real death in the same body, and then you're in the void, and then you're waiting for your true soul authenticity to arise that doesn't have stories but it has knowings, and you're still alive, going to work or having a marriage or having children, and it's so discombobulating. But my experience is that the story dies, is not comfortably but elegantly, when you get that it's a whole 3D 4D identity with a story. And if you can let that die and go to your own funeral and be grateful for those lessons, and then just be willing to be in the unknown long enough, truth starts to arise. And that's what I feel like I'm personally going through, and I'm helping my clients go through, and it's very uncomfortable.
It's very uncomfortable. And the ego part of us, the 3D part of us, it's just the ego self hates the thought of dying. And it's so, connected into our nervous system, into our fight or flight, into our body, and it, of course, that the animal part of us is its prime directive is to live another day, to like continue to carry on. And it feels like life or death to that part of us. Nervous system, fight or flight, life, and identity, life or death. And what I notice is that so many people have kind of like the total life crash and burn experience, where they don't have a choice. Their life, they get fired, their spouse divorces them, that
Cancer,
whatever, hurricane takes their house, or all the things that can happen, that sort of forced us to, it's like the real spiritual initiation happens. So often our ego hardly ever chooses that. Like what ego would choose that? It's more, it happens to us, and then we get the rug pulled out from under us, and we have to be like, okay, if I'm not that, then who am I? And when you were talking about it, I feel like the difficulty is in sitting in the unknowing, and allowing it to emerge in the moment, because it's like a present moment thing. So to me, the question's almost like, who am I now? Who am I now? Who am I now? Who am I now? Okay, that was 5 minutes ago. Who am I now? Like, it's sort of unfolding, and that is the nature of the quantum, the nature of the fifth dimension, is fully in the moment, fully present in the now. There only is the moment, really, when you really get there.
Yeah. So if you would, for viewers, listeners, and my curiosity, as Reiki was shifting, as I'm just going to put this woo-woo quantum healing course out, and then tons of people, even more than you think you can handle, arise that you're taking care of. Explain like the present moment. I think I'll do a course, or you're out gardening. I think I'll do a course. I think I'll call it quantum healing. Like, how is your knowing coming through into action as opposed to the 3D? Like for me, I normally do retreats every single February. I am feeling no. I've never felt a no, but I'm not the planner. I'm not the linear thinker, the strategizer. And so moment to moment, my staff is like, well, what are we going to do? I'm like, I don't know.
How has your truth come through into quantifiable actions in a different way in this new dimension?
It sort of kicking and screaming is my answer to that. But I had the like teach quantum healing message quite a while ago.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, no, I can't. I'm not ready. I can't even talk about it. I can't put words on it. Who am I to claim a lineage? Who am I to say that I downloaded this new brandy new, healing modality that nobody's ever done before, the way that I do it, And I was like, I was very resistant. And I said no a lot until one of my clients, and this is almost always how my best things happen, was one of my clients. She's like, Lisa, I'm begging you. She's a long-term student. I'm begging you, please teach this.
Wow.
And I was like, okay, and right up, I'm still not sure. I'm like halfway through the class, planning class number 5. And I'm still like, I'm not sure I can do this. Can I do this? I'm like clearly doing it. And I'm still like, oh, I don't know. So for me, it's more, you know, I don't know what really happened for me there, except having faith that I was going to be able to do it. And then also a lot of like in the now moment work to bring it through. It's very channeled, you know what I mean? So I'm spending a lot of time channeling and downloading it. I think it's like that. And some of my old business, like I feel like there's a lot of value in the 3D world, the 4D world, which I think of as the psychic and intuitive realm, and then the 5D world, which is the quantum world. And I really feel like there's no need to throw the baby out with the bathwater. They're all valuable. If you want to show up to work on time with your pants on, you better be in the 3D. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Like we don't want to get rid of that. And we need to shift into the 4D when we want to do a psychic reading, or we're going to do some Reiki, or we're going to do our energy healing modality. We're going to sort of feel our higher self and feel our way through things and reach for our higher self and our intuition. And then we shift into the 5D. We're in sort of unity consciousness in this, non-defined state. And I think my goal is to learn to be like a sort of a ninja that can shift through those frequencies at will. Because, I mean, if you want to have actual money to pay your actual rent, you better be tracking the 3D side of things.
Totally.
And I think the goal is to have access to those and then choose which realms, levels of consciousness we want to be in, depending on what's needed in the moment, So I think that's how I've been doing it. If we just, people who go into 5D and never come back, they give away all their possessions and they go sit in a cave with a loincloth and meditate for the rest of their lives. And that's great if you want to do that. But, I know that's not really what I'm called to do. So I think it's more about that fluid movement between those states, depending on what's needed.
Yeah.
I don't know if that answered your question, but
No, it certainly did. And it's so fun to play with you. Loincloths, never, no thanks. G-strings maybe, but no loincloths. Glitter, geez, they're fine. Here's what I don't know shit. I'm just putting one foot in front of the other and it comes in as it comes in. But for me, the 5D, when I first started dip my toe into it, it was like sit in a cave with a loincloth. And I came back from my sabbatical in Spain. I'm like, I don't ever want to work again. Can't we just figure this out? Because I just want to stay here. But if it's unity, then it would be unity with the 4th, with the 3rd. Yeah. Shit, it would be with the 6th. There wouldn't be a separation.
That's right.
And there wouldn't even be channeling because it's all one. The whole chakra system is one. Every dimension is one. Every lifetime is one. You are me. I am you. We are one. And then awareness. Okay, just like you said, like awareness. Okay, we need to figure out, charge this, make money, pay rent. Okay, I'm totally aware, psychically aware of something right now. Oh, my intuition in my body is saying this right now. Oh, you know what I mean? It feels like million dimensions, every single direction I look, all at once.
Yeah.
As I sense what this is going to feel like when we kind of get the hang of it. Does that
Yeah,
make sense to you?
totally. I feel like we're going to be like dimension shifting ninjas,
Yeah, yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
and we're just going to move through those at will, because we especially I think as way showers, if you're in 5D consciousness and you want to get clients, you really need to talk. It's the level right below you. The 4D people
Right, right.
are the people that need to hear your message, and
Yes.
we need the help getting up to the fifth dimension. But if you're talking in your 5D consciousness, you're talking to the 3D people there. It's literally like you're going, wah, 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 and they, so we might need to downshift back into um, 4D language or even 3D language to help them make the jump.
Yeah.
And I just think like there's something precious and important about that evolutionary ladder. Like I think of it as like climbing a staircase,
Yeah.
and that
Yeah.
you can't skip too many of those stairs without going completely insane. That's people go mad when they, if you jump dimensions too quickly.
Yeah. Yeah. Kundalini
But
awakening, and then you never.
yeah, right.
again.
Psychosis, it's like
Yeah.
it's not good. So we kind of want to mindfully like climb the stairs. And I think for me, I know my job is to help the people, that are a few feet or miles behind me or a few steps below me on the path,
Right.
on the stairway like that.
Right.
And there's something precious to me about that. Like, that's what they say, like we're all leading each other home.
Yeah.
And the path of the Bodhisattva is to continue to serve humanity,
Yes.
like no one's leaving. It's like no one's leaving until we've all reached enlightenment, kind of like that.
Yeah. All for one, one for all.
Yeah, right. And that there's something really beautiful and timely. Like this is the time when in human evolution, I think that's why there are more people on the planet than ever before. Just population wise, there are more people here than ever. And I think there's just huge potential, like sort of rocket launch. We can learn through our karmas. We can do more growth work or quantum healing. I do what used to take like years of therapy back in the 80s. We can shift through that stuff really quickly now.
Yeah.
And isn't that great? Isn't that an incredible opportunity? Yes. So for me, it's more of an opportunity for service, I'm still asking myself, how can I serve?
Yeah. Yeah.
And for my own, curiosity and experience and living, it's so, and I also think like, I'm feeling times where I'm really holding all those levels of consciousness at once, which is when we really ground the 3D, like when we ground everything into the physical body.
Yes.
Like carrying the seed of that 5D consciousness into the grounded presence. When I do that in my healing sessions, that's magic. That's when it gets real, like stuff happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is great. I'm just in love with you. I see why Stefan loves you. The energy. So it used to be that my experience was, I wasn't in my body to start with. I was dissociated, like totally spinning a million miles an hour. And then I was really good at leaving. So I would leave, I would get all this information. I'd be like 10-4, bring it back down and then try to integrate it. But I wasn't embodied. I was just doing what I knew, but it didn't all fit together. It didn't ground because I wasn't in here. And then enough integration work to get in here, more of the light getting in here. So I don't have to go out I can hear it on the inside now. And then there's moments, not 24/7, but moments when, as you're just saying, when the 5D is like living inside and you're grounded in your body on this third dimensional planet, which I believe also has the fifth dimensional grid here, but the magic starts to occur because it's almost like we're being animated. That's how it feels to me, like being animated by the divine. Like, yes, I have my unique expression, my soul's unique expression, and yet the breath is the divine aching to know itself as me. And there's these moments where it's like, I'm making love to the divine's making love to me, and it's of service to all. Like, have you had, and I'm going to call it, I don't even know what to call it, orgasmicness? Like, it's not like climax orgasm 3D. Like,
it's ecstatic. It's ecstatic.
Yeah, ecstatic. Nice.
Yeah.
Have you had these kind of like moments where you're like, holy crap, I just feel so delicious right now and magical?
Absolutely. And I do it a lot through dance. So I'm also a dancer.
tell me.
when I quit martial arts, I became a I had kids and couldn't do martial arts anymore, and then I became a dancer, and I do ecstatic dance. And I was a ballroom dancer for a long time,
Wow.
and now I do something called biodanza, which is a whole different kind of
Oh,
transformational dance. Um, so I have my best ecstatic moments in
yeah.
dance, you
Yeah.
know. But I think we have like humans have always been able to reach moments of ecstasy. Maybe
Yeah.
it's through sex, orgasm. I think
Yes.
totally gets us there, and that's why we say, "Oh God, oh God, oh God." We have in the French called le petit mort, the little death.
Yes. Yes.
Like we have an ego death. We die a little ego death if it's really good, if we're
Yeah.
doing it right. Or we have moments of like pure joy, pure happiness, or we
Yeah.
enter into those flow states,
Yeah.
where it's just normal. And I think more and more normal. I think humans have always been able to do it, have always done it.
Yeah.
And it's just becoming more accessible to us, to the general, as we level up the whole of all of the collective consciousness of humanity,
Mm.
then that those moments of ecstasy, of transcendence,
Yeah. Yeah.
happen in little moments, you know and I think that's sort of like, maybe you're praying, maybe you're in church, maybe you're making love, maybe you're dancing, maybe you're just
Yes.
holding your tiny grandbaby, and you know all those moments of transcendence
Yeah.
connect us to each other, but also to this, that divine state where we're living in ecstasy in the moment.
I love how you said
Yeah.
that. My girlfriend Jennifer Jimenez, her work is called Transcendence Movement. I love it. I've never heard
Mm-hmm.
of Bia Dunn. Yeah.
Biodanza.
Is it like Gabriel Roth, Five Rhythms? Is it like from what is it?
It's not like any of those things, really,
Yeah.
although I know all those things. It's from South America. It was created by a guy named Rolando Toro. It's very popular in Brazil. In
Uh-huh.
fact, they use it as PE in schools in Brazil.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Amazing.
it's coming to the United States. It's just sort of strange that I was looking for dance and I found one of the best teachers in the world who has a school in Cranston, Rhode Island,
Wow.
of all the places.
Of course, though,
And
because it's
that's
right
like,
for you. Yeah.
that's right for me. So um, so I learned it, and I found it as a very it's developed as a way for humanity to come back to the core things of what we need. Vitality, sexuality, creativity, emotionality, and transcendence.
Mm.
Are the called the 5 lines of Biodanza, but it's all done through community, through connection,
Mm.
and how we interrelate. It's a dance. It's about intimacy and connection, and reminding us how we can connect to each other,
Wow.
in a very conscious way. Like that's the point. The
Wow.
dance of life is what it means. Danza, the dance of life.
Oh, this is amazing. I will have to learn more. I love everything you're saying, this intimacy, sensuality, connection, embodiment,
Yeah,
as a regular practice as little ones, all the
yeah,
way up. What a friggin'
yep,
concept.
totally.
Wow. I've been drawn to flamenco recently. I studied it in Albuquerque, then I went to Spain, and now I'm studying it in Santa Fe. And for some reason that the gypsy energy and the posture and the strength, but the letting go and the rhythms that I still can't catch. I'm still like, well, how are you clapping? I still can't get it. But maybe the
Yeah.
innocence, the egoless, just to let myself, and the big, and of course I like the dress. The dress is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, the outfit is
Wow,
fun.
flamenco. Flamenco's really hard. I mean, hats off to you for trying it,
Oh
because
my God, it's very hard.
it's a very, very challenging dance style, and it's a
Yeah.
little bit. I like tango, because it's got attitude, and
Yeah.
it's very expressive. I studied Argentine tango and found that to be an incredible experience, but nothing's really hit me like this. I think like I have a group that I've been working together with for like many years now,
Yeah.
and I think it's like the most intimate group I've ever been a part of. We know each other better than any other group I've ever been a part of, and we hardly ever talk. We're just
This is also incredible to talk about. Back, so
So I had a 13-year custody battle. And during that period of time, my church was S Factor in Los Angeles, which was all women, no mirrors, no men, red light. And nobody knew what you did for a living. You just knew, I know her shoulders. I know her ass. I know
Mhm.
something's going on today. Her shoulders are up. And we would move together until, and I was trained as a ballet dancer. So it was all about steps and following. So it was for me
Right.
letting go of the steps and letting the energy move me. And I think it's probably the first time that I really
Yeah.
got, oh, spirit is moving everything, channeling, dancing,
Yeah.
right? It's if I can get out of the way, I can be a
Mhm.
facilitator of the in service of the divine. So
Beautiful.
so what I really like is that you're saying it's the most intimate group that you've expressed with without your typical expression.
Yeah.
Yeah, say more if you would about that, because to me, you can move that kind of movement into lovemaking. You can use that way of moving into how you listen to your clients, how you play with your kids, how you work with the earth and garden. I mean, it's like, to me, it's like, it just starts to be everything.
Everything. And I think because it's a somatic thing, we were talking about how do we embody it,
Yeah, yeah,
and I wasn't a ballet dancer, but I was a martial artist for 20 years.
yeah,
And, so for me, that being a martial artist was a really good counterpoint to being a psychic. So on one hand, I'm up here in the ethers, like
yeah,
talking to dead people. And on the other
yeah,
hand, it sort of forced me or continually to get, because if you're not in your body and you're in a sparring match,
yeah,
you know, you're going to get hit. Like,
yeah,
so
yeah,
I'm like, okay, the power is now, the power is here, the power is being embodied. I'd really, really learned that lesson. And I just think that for me, the dance, and especially this particular style of dance, which is super about connection,
mm,
has created an embodied connection, that's sort of like the one that you dream about, you know, um, in a physical, tangible way. It brings it
yeah,
into the body in the real, in the present moment. And I
yeah,
think, has like lowered like so much trauma healing for me. I've done so much, like, when they say leave it on the dance floor,
yeah.
that's it.
Wow.
Like I can do like 5 hours of therapy or 10 minutes of dance, of this dance. So like really release it from,
Wow.
in a way that, in an express, it's all because it's also kind of an expressive movement. It doesn't have steps. So
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can really fully express yourself and be held in a group. Like, so it's healed so much relationship stuff, so much,
yes,
old relationship trauma, so much of like childhood peer level trauma of like, I don't fit in. I was that child that didn't fit in, into the group.
wow,
Super strange child. Um, and so it really healed that, like being embraced and accepted
yeah,
from the peer group.
yeah,
It's just been like, I think honestly the best therapeutic, and I've done them all. I've done so
yeah,
many, like you probably have too.
yeah.
I've tried it all, and this is the one that really like brought it in for me.
Oh, Lisa, I'm so glad you're sharing this with me. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm very curious to learn the use of low dose psychedelic somatic integration work. I do one-on-one work with my facilitators and my clients, and it's about trust body and medicine and the divine know what to do, and you'll reenact these traumatic moments witnessed by another. So trauma occurs in
Mm.
relationship, healing occurs in relationship, and then to watch the body reorganize itself all the way back to zero, and the downloads or awarenesses that come through for people, and the
Wow.
privilege and honor of being that person to reparent them, to be there when no one was there, to
Yeah.
to reflect back when no one was there. And it's going into their friggin' nervous system. It's going into their brain with neuroplasticity. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm so honored to be able, like, we can heal. We can reset.
That's amazing.
We can come home, and to know that there's another modality that I've never even heard of. That's why I just love being a student. So that's why I love this podcast. 13 years. I'm always learning. I'm always learning. Bia Danza. Okay, I'm going to see if there's any in Santa Fe. Santa Fe. Two more things. I could talk to you for hours, and hopefully I'll get to it when you come to Santa Fe in September. I'll get to see you again. Um, you used the word precious when addressing the 3 and 4D evolutionary ladder of our soul's evolution. Until firmly got into the fifth, I personally judged in myself and in others, 3D not as good, 4D not as good, 5D better. I didn't have, I had the awareness I ought to be compassionate right now, but I couldn't embody it. I still had it. It was wrong and separate, and this is better. Since continuing to do the work and being in mostly fifth with the choice to do the different dimensions when I need to take out the trash, pay the bills, or listen inside. Precious, humbling, honoring. I am you, you are me. There's no separation. I'm like, oh, I so know that place. And
Yeah.
because I'm not, I'm bringing all the shadows of me home, all the wobbly, insecure, all the things of me home without separation. I seem
Yeah.
to be able to be with clients or these questions. And I mean, literally, in all transparency, sometimes my staff will ask me to answer certain questions on social media, and I'll just be so arrogant. That's just so like stupid, so simple. So like, what? I don't want to talk about like, should I have an affair on my wife or not? Like, what? I don't even want to answer that. But that's my own judgment. And as that gets integrated into my own the fold, I do see it as a distinct honor and privilege to be not better, but ahead on this evolution to address each of these. And it's the first time I've had the courage to create a larger, well, I've had like YouTube and Instagram, etc., but to create like a membership on Patreon where it really is vulnerability, credibility. Here's my own journey. What is it bringing up for you? Credibility. Well, here's some tools or here's some ways of thinking about it, like reveal and support in the most authentic way of service that I've ever begun to manifest, actualize on the planet. So if you would speak more of to those that are your students and on this path, this when service isn't sacrifice, it's really from wholeness. It's really like self first. We're whole. We're giving from the overflow, but service in this very precious, honoring way of looking at the evolution of our planet. Did that make sense?
Yeah, it was beautiful. Thank you for sharing that story. It was so cool to hear it. And I think a lot of sort of that old saying, if you meet the Buddha on the road, kill him, because anybody who's sort of like, well, I got it all figured out, maybe,
Doesn't?
they don't. And there's some kind of, I think, humility about the real deal, and I think I was thinking about the old Dan Millman book, The Peaceful Warrior, such a great, book. And his spiritual teacher's like a janitor at a gas station or a mechanic.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like in a gas station, that's like a really humble job.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think there's something about the real, when we've really integrated 5D, there's this humility that goes with that and that compassion for the suffering of all of humanity. The
Yeah.
real bodhisattvas are humble, have humility. And the ego, you're in an ego place. And I do this too, like where I'm like, 5D's better. Well, that's just straight up, ego talk. And, and we don't lose the ego, right? We just kind of envelop it and with a lot of compassion and love. So I do a ton of inner child work. The book I'm working on right now is a book about sacred reparenting and inner child work.
Oh,
and
nice.
I see the ego more as like the child part of us. It's not to be punished or cast out or exiled. It's to be lovingly guided, to be reparented. It's like the part of us that wants to be special. That so often we didn't get when we were little. And so when that part of me comes up, I'm like, oh yeah, there's that desire to be special. But in my inner child, I'm like, you're so special. Like that kind of with a lot of love to parent that piece.
Yeah.
When it arises, to me is the way. And I think, that that's towards, if we're leaving behind the old school idea of enlightenment is transcending our human experience,
Right.
and understanding that we're really bringing it here, we're embodying it, we're fully integrating our humanity with our higher self, which I think of as a 4D construct, and then the quantum self, original self is the fifth dimensional idea of who we are. that there's an integration and an unfoldment. So the 5D can enfold those pieces
Nicely said.
that,
Yeah.
with love.
Yeah.
Be like a
Yeah.
little ego, a little inner child. So ouchy to be
Yeah.
separate. So
Yeah.
ouchy to feel unspecial.
Yeah.
And that the separate, let's remember the separateness is an illusion. Separation is like the original wound, right? Where we're separated from God and from ourselves and from other people. And it just gets it's so painful. When we go into that separation, we just kind of freak out,
Yeah.
and have all these
Yeah.
reactivity and shenanigans. And can we just unfold that with compassion and love? And it sort of softens the whole process, at least for me.
Oh, I love that, Lisa. I've developed a bunch of different processes. One of them, the first one is little you, to go in with and the only time it ever worked for me is when I imagine she's in my heart. And in the past, I would go in, so shape her up into being more confident and more happy and and that never worked, obviously. And so I remember the day I went into my heart and I just threw away the key and I said, I will be with you for eternity, even if you never change. And it's up to me to learn how to love you exactly as you are and exactly as you're not. And that's kind of the gist of that, that process. I'd love your intuitive insights. My ego and I, she wants to feel special. She really likes being on TV. She ever since I have these little pictures of me when I was like 2, the little Polaroid ones that you would take, and she would be, where's the camera? She would just look like she just loved it. So I feel a part of me just really loves being on camera, being on video. And as a business owner, I know that 80% of my leads come from seeing me on a podcast, being interviewed. There's something that transmits through conversation in the camera. And then I have this joy that I'm allowing myself to have. Like, what if I had a way to have a sustainable income where I could go visit my clients and my colleagues and my mentors and my friends and travel the world and capture it all on video and share the journey of evolution with people. And it's taken off way the fuck slower than I want it to. So then I go into my head and I question, maybe it was a mistake. Maybe I haven't done my ego work. Maybe you don't get to have life be that fun, or all these different kind of things. It's even bringing up tears as I'm saying it to you. I've just put others first so much, Lisa, my whole life. And it's like, it's time for me to be whole. I can't not be of service. I'm wired to be of service, but not from empty anymore. And it's like, I want to fucking play and love the shit out of the people I adore. And I want to learn. I want to come to Rhode Island and do friggin' be a danza with you. Like, just like these desires, and have that be a contribution to humanity. So I would love if you'd be so kind as to give me your feedback on this. It feels like a soul's truth desire.
First of all, I can say I'm right there with you. That sounds amazing, and I would also love that. I want to go to Italy and drink a real cup of coffee.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, so I feel what you're saying, and as a very deep soul longing.
Yeah.
And what I hear, like, if from my psychic guidance that's coming in about this issue, is that that you just need to be patient because it will come into form. What you're thinking about is so far ahead of the collective that you're a little bit too far ahead. Also, for mainstream to pick it up. The other thing I got is that you could ask for that to happen. That you could meet somebody who would be your camera person, and you could just do it. And if you did it, and put it into your Patreon, like you might have some of it that's available, but the really juicy parts are in your behind your paywall. It could totally work the way you imagine it. Why not? I think you would run that a little way like that for a little bit, and then I think eventually you'd get picked up by more of a proper, TV, situation, which will come with its own set of challenges. But I would say start that vision with the resources you have now and see where it takes you.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Because I have, starting in April, I've already started it. I'm already doing it. I am my own selfie camera person. My sabbatical in Spain, all the things were on there. And I'm not even sure I need it to be on network. They tend to censor.
They're going to want to control it and censor.
And I will under
No way will anybody exploit my clients when they are being brave enough
Or
to,
you.
or me, thank you, to express truth, right? So thank you for
Yeah.
your feedback
I
of
just think you need a camera person. See if you
Mm,
can figure out that who could hold the camera besides you, and I think it will go from there.
well, I have a dream. I haven't, my son has not been in communication for 5.5 years since that really tough custody battle. So I have a little dream that I could give him a job if he would come back and he could be my camera person and we could travel the world and get to know each other again. So we'll see. We'll see how, or my beloved to be. Are you married? Do you have a husband?
No, not anymore. I've been married twice, so I've been single for quite a long time, 12 years now.
Yeah. Maybe this will
Yeah.
be a beautiful way for us to complete this part of our conversation. Then we'll move on to after the show. How how's dating in this level of consciousness, Lisa?
I think I personal growth myself out of the dating pool.
Same.
Um,
I'm single too.
I kind of dip my toe in and out of the water, you know. Um, I'm I realize that I'm a, overachieving workaholic. And when I get really lonely, I just double down on the work. I'm like, I'll write another book.
Yeah.
I'm a very prolific author.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll do another class. And that creativity and the business side of my life and the professional side of my life is so easy, and it always goes so well. And it's so
Yeah.
amazing, to meet people like you and Stephanie, and
Yeah.
it's so
Yeah.
rich.
Yeah.
And then there's my Via Danza life, which kind of gives me that really deep intimacy that's so
Yeah.
much closer than, you know, what I have experienced in the dating. And
Yeah.
then I dip my toe and I get on Hinge or Bumble, and I dip my toe in the water, and I'm like, oh, like, and I'm like, I'm out. I'm like, there's sharks in this water. I'm out.
Oh my
So
God,
I
you're
am
so
kind of,
adorable.
I like have a love hate relationship with it. I just have a hate relationship. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. I still have faith. Like I still have, a lot of belief and love, and that that there are people on the planet. And I've been working hard on clearing my own inner blocks, inner traumas.
Yeah.
I'm very dedicated to that work,
Yeah. Me
and
too.
work with some really good professionals who are helping me like undo my own relationship patterns.
Yeah.
So I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that it will come around, but it's been a bit of a dry spell. I'm also like content, and I'm like unwilling to put up with bullshit
Thank
anymore. You
you.
know what I mean? So
Thank you.
I'm
Yes.
like, well, I'm if you can't add to the equation, I don't need a project. I don't need if somebody who can't contribute to the
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
Um, so I don't know. It's a bit of a conundrum for me.
Yeah.
I don't
Thank
know.
you.
I would totally marry myself. I mean, I'd
I,
be such a good partner.
we're just gonna move this ring over
That's
to
weird. Like I'm gonna
and
marry
it's gonna
myself.
be done. Thanks for your
Right.
transparency. We're quite similar. I've never felt more whole, vast, and self-honoring. And honestly, like I love the dancing and the intimacy that you're speaking of, like being in my body as opposed to so dissociated for so many years. The dissociation kept me spinning so fast to be safe. It also made me write another book and put on another class and travel the world and
Yep.
and so like, okay, so that's not, I'm not desiring to fill the silence anymore with busyness. I'm integrating the discomfort when I'm alone. I'm feeling more whole and connected. I'm feeling, it's not 24/7, but I have these moments where nobody's really out there. It's all me. And it's so oneness. Even the uncomfortable things is me. And I don't feel lonely. I just feel
Right.
so intimately connected with people,
Yeah. Me
nature,
too.
clients, you,
Yeah. Yeah.
like my body. There's just
Mhm.
lots of connection everywhere I look. So there's no void like there used to be.
Right.
I could give a fuck what people think. So that's a good thing. And like you said, if it's not going to be an addition, no interest. But here's the thing that keeps me going. I have these moments. I'm having it with you. It's like I'm more than I was when we started 55 minutes ago. Like I see it like a figure eight. Like you say something and then it goes, ooh, and then it awakens something in me. And then I say something and then you say something else. And then you say and it awakens something. So I'm feeling the experience of more evolution or more yumminess. Like I just think that would be really fun with a dude who was nice and kind and thought I was cool. And like these who's aware and knows that it takes me a while with my nervous system to open. I'll take a little slower, even though I'm 55. I'm new to be in my
Yeah.
body, healed of sexual trauma.
Yeah.
Please take it slow. And he would just delight in that. Like I
Yeah.
would like to experience that. I don't feel empty, longing, and not enough until, and that would be really fucking cool.
It would be really fucking cool. And I also think that there's a certain level of spiritual growth and we can only do in sacred partnership. There's some lessons we can only learn. And to me, it's sort of like the undiscovered country or the work I haven't done yet because I don't have a partner. To really know, intimacy, is the deep revealing of yourself. And it would be so healing and amazing to see conscious relationships kind of a spiritual practice, is a spiritual growth journey. And that part of me is like longing for that. And my experience is it's hard to find people who are sort of willing to show up for that,
Yes, well said.
or that are interested in that or have the chops to show up in that, which I don't know if I do either because I've never done it. So it'd be I guess more, I suspect that I have the chops, but I also think it'd be really challenging. And I kind of feel like what is that Sarah McLachlan song, Fumbling Towards Ecstasy, right?
Yes.
Kind of learning on the job, how to do that. But I do totally think there's a level of spiritual growth that's the only way, that's to pass through that. And I really long for that. I really would love to experience that.
Yeah, same. I love how you're saying this. Yeah. We both have had our 2 divorces. We both do the work. There's no reason why we wouldn't continue to do the work. But the deepest repairs after ruptures that I've experienced in my life thus far are with friends, clients. I have never experienced a partner willing to keep repairing those ruptures and grow deeper in intimacy. And I really long for that experience, and then who will both be as a result of that. And then because I'm always giving of my vulnerability and credibility, share. Don't give up at 55. Keep going. Look what's possible. And it gets bumpy and it's messy and it's motherfucking amazing. Yeah. So, all right. Well, I look forward to us both being able to share our stories of these relationships in divine time, should that be, in the quantum field. Are you listening?
Yes.
Oh, this has been such a delight. We're going to do even more over on after the show on Patreon, but I want you to go to lisacampion.com. What are they just generally going to find when they go there? How would you love to interact with them?
You're going to find classes in psychic development, from beginner to intermediate to advanced to pro. If you want to become a pro psychic healer, you're going to find the psychic Reiki classes, lots of free stuff. I have tons of free resources. So come by and leave me a message. I really do read them all. And if you're looking for a psychic mentor, I'm that. That's what I do.
Beautiful. And you also do sessions with people, if they want to get readings from, you do readings and those kind of things. Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And lastly, what was your most, what did you value the most, or what tickled you the most about our conversation thus far?
Oh, just the whole thing you were saying about that interactive loop, of really feeling the flow of the conversation and what gets created, what gets synthesized or created from that level of connection. So cool. It was really magical in every single way. So thank you so much.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine, Lisa. Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you, for being with us on Intimate Conversations. LisaCampion.com. Join us over at patreon.com/Alana Pratt. It's called Alana's Love Lab. And this is where I answer your questions every week. I share my vulnerable story every week, and you get the after the show, which has some, I don't know if they're naughty questions, but they're delicious questions. And then we always dance, because as both Lisa and I have been expressing, there is a way to just have this beautiful energy flow in as and through you with others that, to me,
Yeah, I think we were born here to dance. So when you finish this podcast, please don't go straight off to pick up the kids or social media. If you could just give us 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and just be still. Put your feet on the ground and just allow whatever this conversation was meant to awaken in you to percolate. Maybe journal, maybe just sit and be, maybe take an action. But it would be such a blessing if you would allow the energy of this conversation to bless your life, because that is why we've both shown up for you today. We love you. And until next time on Intimate Conversations, all my love. See you next week on Intimate Conversations. Get out there and make love to life.
I wanted to show you the sweet guest room that the current house that I'm renting, that my clients stay. And this is like a board of all the different plants and flowers in this beautiful wild desert that grow here, that the landlords of this house have put together. So this is also the house where I do a lot of dancing. I dance on the rock where I meditate where the sun rises. I dance out on the platform when the sun is setting. I dance right when I lead calls here often with my clients. I dance in the living room. I practice my flamenco as I'm looking out at this beautiful, maybe we'll walk a little closer because it just looks white right now, but it's so beautiful. The view of like 31 acres. This is where I stand and can we tell? Yep, there it is. Where I dance my flamenco. But I had no idea there was even more kinds of dance. And one of the fun things of getting to know Lisa Campion, and all of her modalities with being a psychic, and how her Reiki has shifted over time, and how her intimacy and how dance has been such a huge part of her evolution. I was like, I have found such a sister. I cannot wait to meet her. We have to dance. And I've learned about a new kind of dance that she says, if I'm paraphrasing correctly, the most intimate experiences she's had in movement with her dance community. I so get that. I so remember the women I danced with in Los Angeles with Sheila Kelly's S Factor. Those sisters knew me in a way that even words don't portray, that breath and sound and movement and the way you're crunched over or the way your hips move. It's a way to communicate truth that is so vulnerable, intimate, and beautiful. Please follow this amazing lady, Lisa Campion. If you're coming to Santa Fe for any reason, there will be a beautiful event with Stephanie James, her bestie as well. Two incredible ladies for you to learn more about. And then lastly, if there's a pull for Lisa with to become more psychic yourself and to expand your own capacity, she has several courses. So definitely check those out on her site. And if this conversation allows you to go, oh, I would like to have a deeper, intimate relationship with myself, my body, my sexuality, deepen my relationship with my current beloved, or maybe that wound is in the way of attracting my ideal beloved, I would love to connect with you. It's called an Intimacy Breakthrough Experience Call. There's a scholarship over in the show notes for you. You can sign up on my website. And definitely the two dancers, you have to come now watch us over on Patreon as we let loose. And the way Lisa answers the 3 questions that I ask every guest, pretty delicious. Let me just say, pretty delicious. So we'll see you over on Patreon. All my love.